can you share of a moment during your time in Hamilton that impacted you and you understood what this story was about and its impact, and was there a moment where you realized, oh wow, this is a big deal?
There are many moments. But one moment was the cast. We really bonded together over it was a kind of a crazy experience to have. Whereas very much so, you're only as good as your last game. So every night, like you think you're doing well, and then you're like, hey, just kidding, Rick Rubin's coming tomorrow. Hey, just kidding, Harry Belafonte is going to be here. And I always like to know. So you can never rest because the entire time we're doing that show, like everyone's idol at some point came. Dave Chappelle, love Dave Chappelle for me, but just different people. So like Tyra Banks, and one girl really loved Tyra Banks, so that was her person. And then like, Jay-Z, Beyonce came, like everyone came, from the Clintons to the Obamas, met them twice, went to the White House. It was just kind of nuts, but we could never chill because we always had to go back the next night and kill it.
Does that help you, like knowing that they're in the audience, or would you rather not even? Because
it depends. Some people, some actors, it really doesn't help. For me, it did. The last show I just did, Doll's House on Broadway. That was the last. That was the last piece I did. That show did not help. For some odd reason, that one I was like, I don't. That was a very difficult show. For those who don't know, it was just my boy Jamie Lloyd directed it, but it was just really stripped down, and there were no costumes, no set changes. There was just really one spotlight, and we're on stage the whole time in chairs for about 2 hours.
I know. So, I'm sad I didn't get the chance to go out there.
You just sit there, and the scenes where you sit in a chair and you just do your scene like you're in class. So it's just really stripped down. If you're not dropped in, if you're not there, it just wouldn't work. Jessica Chastain, Michael Patrick Thornton, Ari did it as well. Jesmiel. That was the cast, and everyone was just knocking it out of the park. But for that show, and that was another show where just people, because of Jessica, just people would just come. Al Pacino, I was like, oh, he was there, cool. Just random, just folks would just come that you wouldn't expect to see. So for that show, because it was so nerve wracking and it was just emotionally really, it wasn't fun. It wasn't 2 hours of fun. It was just a heavy show for 2 hours. Everyone's just sitting in that room like fuzz. So for that one, I did not want to know.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I just got to do my show.
Okay. Yeah.
And there was no singing in that one as well. Did you miss that part of being on stage?
I did, and I do, but I'm very project based. So that project didn't call for it. And for what it was very, very difficult to do for 3 months. Like emotionally, it was like a lot. But because I believed in the piece, and because of how moved people were by it, it's like, I can do that for 3 months. Now, if I did it like a show like that and everyone's just like, whatever the fuck ever, they don't really care, it kind of just makes it more difficult. But when everyone's actually impacted by the piece, same thing with Hamilton, same thing. I just did Jelly's Last Jam at City Center Encores. When people are moved, I can come back and do it again. Because we saw how moved people were with Hamilton. It's like, we got to hit it again. We got to hit it again. We got to hit it again. And that show was really just a cast of people who always were going for the top. Everyone in that show was the hardest working person in their show. And they just put us all together in one show.